Oh, okay. So we are live. I've tried to go live for the last 10 minutes and YouTube Live was just not working. So here we are. We can now get today's conversation started. So today's live is about whether or not you should consider investing in gold. Now, when we think about investing, we tend to naturally think about the stock market immediately, whether it's individual stocks, index funds, mutual funds, or you might think about things like cryptocurrency, real estate, etc. But precious metals like gold and silver are great ways to invest. But of course, you have to kind of know what you're doing, what to look for, and where to buy them. So we will cover all of those questions in today's live. I did receive a few questions from Instagram. So I'll be addressing that during today's live as well. If you're not already following me on Instagram, I will have the link to my page in the caption of this video, and I will have my other social media platforms there as well. So if you do have questions that you do want addressed in a future live, feel free to send me a DM, or you can leave a question on this live, and I will kind of keep them, keep a list, and then we can address them in our future YouTube lives. So, when it comes to gold, there are essentially three reasons why you should consider investing in it. Now, you can also use this for silver as well, but we'll kind of keep it simple and just talk about gold in general. So, when it comes to gold, the first reason why you should consider investing in it is that gold will always have value, right? Unlike things like stocks or index funds, those things only have value if the business itself or the businesses in the index funds have value. So, for example, if a company goes out of business, the stock is now worth nothing, essentially, right? And so that stock value really is tied to the value and the performance of said business. So, look at the stock market, right? You will have times where the stock market will go up, it will go down. Even individual stocks work that way as well. So if you've noticed, whenever a company does a earnings call and a press release discussing their financial results from the prior quarter or the prior year, the stock market responds, right? So if the company had a great quarter or a great year, the stock price tends to increase in value, and the opposite tends to hold true as well. If the company didn't have a good quarter from a revenue perspective or profit perspective, or just having bad PR, the stock will tend to decrease in value as well. So it's very much tied to the performance of the company. Whereas gold really doesn't have that issue necessarily, right? Gold, regardless of where you are in the world or in the country, it will always have value, right? Gold is an asset that we as a people have decided this thing, right, has intrinsic value. So if you were to buy a gold coin, you can go anywhere in the world and sell it because it has some kind of intrinsic value. So that's the one reason why gold is a great asset to add to your portfolio because it has value. And it's also, which leads me to reason number two, it's a great way to diversify your portfolio. And kind of leading into the second reason, we as investors have to really look at how we are diversifying our portfolios. When you think about investing, we tend to gravitate to the same things, which isn't a problem, but are you diversifying within those asset classes? So, for example, we've had talks about this previously. If you look at your portfolio, kind of look at the companies you're investing in. I do find that most people tend to invest in the same type of companies or companies that are in the same industry. So, for example, I had a client of mine a few years ago who we were talking about her investments, and she was very tech heavy in her portfolio. So she was investing in things like Google, Meta, Apple, etc., very much in the tech internet space. And so she wasn't invested in anything like the medical field, energy, right? Other things, other industries like that. And so if you are going to invest in the stock market, right, you want to make sure you are diversifying the stocks you are invested in. But the other way you can diversify is by investing in different asset classes, right? So you can invest in stocks. You can invest in cryptocurrency. You can start a business. You can buy things like gold and silver and diamonds and things like that. And so while, going into real estate, that definitely takes a heavier lift and a bigger financial contribution to do that. Investing in things like gold is a bit more accessible. And we'll talk more about that later in the live, because I also know gold is on the pricier side right now. It's about $2,900, almost $3,000 per ounce, which for some people that might still be too expensive, but there's ways to invest in gold on a smaller scale. We'll talk more about that later in the live. And so when you think about gold, again, it's a great way to diversify your portfolio. And now this asset that you own, it has value. And which leads me to point number 3, gold tends to do really well during times of economic uncertainty. So right now, right, it is March 11th, 2025, and the stock market has taken a little bit of a hit. And so you will find that times like this, also going back to 2020 during the pandemic, and since then, you will find that assets like gold tend to do well. When there is a lot of economic uncertainty, we don't know what's going on with the market. Businesses are struggling. Inflation is high. Unemployment, while the rates are low, we've seen hundreds and thousands of layoffs across many companies and across many industries. So there's a lot going on right now, and it kind of feels kind of similar to how we felt during the pandemic, meaning the uncertainty. The reasons behind the uncertainty, of course, are very different now than it was back then, but the uneasiness, right? The uncertainty, that is all still pretty much the same. And so what you will find is investors tend to gravitate to the things that make them feel safe, right? And so one of those things is gold. And so gold, which kind of goes back to reason number 1, gold always has value. It doesn't matter what's going on in the stock market. It doesn't matter what's going on in the real estate market. It doesn't really matter what's going on in the economy in general. Gold has value. Now, the amount of value will, of course, fluctuate due to the economy, due to where you live in the world, right? Though there are variables, but it having value in itself doesn't change. And so you as an investor don't have to worry about, that I buy the right, well, that's kind of a slippery slope, but you don't have to worry about that I buy the right piece of gold. There's a slight nuance there. We'll talk more about that later in the live. Like when you're trying to buy a stock or you're doing research, you're trying to figure out this company's financial performance, their stock performance, who the executive leadership are, right? What is going on in their industry, right? You're putting some effort, a lot of effort actually, right? Well, you should be putting some effort when you're trying to invest in the stock market. Whereas gold, you're just buying gold and you just hold it, right? And if you need to sell it for cash, you can easily sell it. You can also easily buy it. So gold works very differently than a stock, but having it in your portfolio is a nice foundation to have. So we'll talk about where you can buy it, what kind of gold you should be looking for, and those are the main questions that I was asked in my Instagram DMs. So when it comes to gold, right, not all gold is the same. It's not all created equal, right? So if you are looking to buy investment grade gold, which is an actual term, you need gold that has a purity of 99.9% or 99%. It kind of depends on where you're looking. So it needs to be the most purest form of gold possible. So if you're thinking about like 14 karat gold or 10 karat gold, while it's still gold, it isn't investment grade, right? It isn't the best gold you can buy to add to your portfolio, essentially. So when you are looking to buy gold from any retailer, if you're looking to add it to your portfolio, you want to make sure you're paying attention to the purity of the gold. It needs to be, again, 99.99%. So whether you're on their website, whether you're physically in store, they must be able to show you that the gold is pure, and need to show you the purity level. Because again, not all gold is created equal. So that's the first thing. Now, if you're just buying gold, like gold jewelry per se, you should try to focus on buying 24 karat gold, right? So that is definitely the purest form of gold that you can possibly buy. And of course, it is more expensive because there's more gold in the jewelry than you would have in a piece that's 14 karat or 10 karat gold. So regardless of what kind of gold you're trying to buy, the purity, it matters, right? And it matters because that's going to impact the resale value, right? In the event you do need to sell for whatever reason, you're going to get the best offer on the purest form of gold. Now, when it comes to where to buy gold, there are definitely quite a few options. And I'll kind of go through a few, and I will also talk about one of my personal favorites. So, when it comes to gold, there are a few places. So, one, you can actually buy gold. Well, there's a few places you can buy gold, and there's another way you can invest in gold without buying gold directly. So stick with me. I promise it'll make sense as we continue today's conversation. So when it comes to buying physical gold, you can start with your brokerage account. You might be surprised that most brokerage accounts give you the option to buy gold. Now, I'll use Fidelity as an example because I'm pretty well versed in what they offer and how they offer it. So Fidelity, you can buy things like gold, silver, palladium, right? You actually do have that option. They do sell gold coins, gold bars, and things like that. They do have some requirements though. So you must buy at least $2,500 worth of gold to make an investment with them. So that's the first thing. Now, when you do go to their website, they will show you different options of gold coins and gold bars. And you will notice that not all of the coins are 99.99% purity, right? They're not all pure gold. I did see a couple of coins where the purity was 91.6 or 92.6, right? Something like that. So again, if you're looking for investment grade, just look at the coins that have the 99.9 or 99.99% purity. And so, again, you have that option to buy it through your brokerage account. You will also find that some traditional banks will sell gold and silver as well. I'm not as familiar with how they operate, but they do give you the option to do so. Again, purity matters, so pay attention to that before you make that investment. The next place where you can buy investment grade gold are physical brick and mortar locations. So you will have places like Costco, which is funny. I didn't know they sold gold until about 4 or 5 years ago. It's kind of funny, but they are a very popular brick and mortar location that sells gold bars, gold coins. They also sell silver coins as well. Now, of course, you must be a Costco member, right, to make a purchase. But again, they do actually sell gold bars and gold coins. And if you do go to their website or their app, it does show you the purity. And from what I saw, all of their bars and coins are investment grade gold. Now, from what I saw on their website recently, they do limit how much you can purchase. I think currently they limit you to 5 bars per member. So keep that in mind. But again, gold is almost $3,000 per ounce. And the bars are actually 1 ounce bars. They do sell coins as well. Now, of course, the biggest concern with that is where to store the bars or coins you are buying. So of course, I would recommend having a fire/waterproof safe, so that way you can store your coins in a place that's safe. In the event something happens in your home, the coins won't get damaged. So again, personal preference. Some people will actually sign up for a lockbox at their local bank. That's also an option. The biggest concern is to store them safely, where you as an investor feel safe holding your investment. So keep that in mind. The third place you can actually purchase gold from is an online retailer. Now, when it comes to an online retailer, you do want to make sure that you are vetting the retailer before you make the investment. So you want to go to reputable companies that are vetted either by the Better Business Bureau, or they just have a well-known reputation of the place to buy gold. Now, with these companies, again, you want to look at the investment quality, the purity, how do they ship them to you, what the requirements are there account minimums you need to, or are there purchase minimums you need to make in order to, make a purchase from them? Every company has their own terms and conditions, so make sure you are super, super clear on what those terms are before you invest with any of these retailers. Now, one of my personal favorites when it comes to buying gold and now silver is a company called Vaulted. I know this video is not sponsored by them. I forget how I learned about them. them, but I came across my Purview. I want to say about 4 years ago, but maybe 5 years ago. I forget now. And what they offer is the ability for you to invest in gold, even if you are working with a smaller budget. And this is why I do love the platform that they have. So, as I mentioned, gold right now is about $2,900 per ounce. But let's say you don't have that right now to invest. With Vaulted, you can actually invest with whatever budget you currently have. So if you have $100 to buy gold, you can take that $100 and buy a piece of a gold bar. Now, when you are signing up for the app, you do have to link the app to your checking or savings account. So that way you can add those funds to your Vaulted account to then purchase the gold or the silver. Now, what's great about this platform is they will actually hold the gold and silver for you until you yourself want it to be shipped to you. So you actually do have an option. The gold is being stored in a mint. I believe it's a Canadian mint. And again, it's yours. You can see it in the app, and whenever you want to have it shipped to you, you can opt to have it shipped to you. Now, they do charge a nominal fee for storage, very, very nominal. I forget the rates right now, but it isn't anything crazy. And they now also offer silver. When they first launched the app, they only offered gold. But I want to say about a year or so ago, they began offering silver, which I think is fantastic. So it's a great way to buy gold on the go. You literally will just download. Do I have the app on this phone? I have two cell phones. So let me see if I have it on this phone. Yeah, I do. So here is the app. The app is Vaulted. And so you're able to log into your accounts. You can add funds, you can buy gold, you can buy silver, you can sell gold, you can sell silver, all from your phone. So I think it's great. Now they did at one point mention they did give you the ability to purchase gift cards. So I thought that was a great way to gift gold and silver to family and friends and godchildren, but I don't see that feature is actually working. So I do hope they figure a way to fix that, because I'm kind of in a place now where I want to gift assets and not liability. So if I can gift a child some gold or silver or stocks, right? That's kind of the person I want to be right now, whether it's sexy or not. I like the idea of investing in a child's future. And so I hope they do find a way to fix that personally. Going back to investing in gold. Now, if you do not want to buy physical gold or even go the vaulted route, another way to indirectly invest in gold is to invest in companies that mine and store gold. So that's another way to kind of be in the gold industry without buying gold itself. And so there are quite a few companies that do mine and handle and process gold and silver and other precious stones. And so if by going that route, again, it's a great way to diversify your portfolio, because most people don't think about investing in companies that mine gold or other precious metals, right? We're thinking about the tech stocks, maybe travel stocks, energy, right? Those things. This is like another industry that you could tap into that you may otherwise have not even thought about investing in. Now, some of these gold stock companies do actually pay dividends, which is pretty nice. Now, of course, you want to do your own research before you begin investing in them. But again, I think it's a great way to be in an industry that tends to do well when times are kind of uncertain when it comes to the economy and on the national and both the global scale. So just do a quick recap what we discussed during today's live. So gold is a great way to diversify your portfolio, in my professional opinion. It's something that you just kind of buy and hold. There's not much thought you have to kind of put into it. Once you decide where you're buying the gold from, once you decide the kind of gold or precious metal or stone you're going to buy, you kind of just buy and hold. Now, if you're going to buy physical gold, you want to make sure you're storing it in a safe place. You may even want to insure it. Again, personal preference. But again, it's a great way to add to your portfolio as an investor. So we talked about the reasons why. The three reasons why, in my opinion, are: one, gold always has value. You can easily buy and sell gold anywhere in the world. Two, as I've said like many, many times in this live already, it's a great way to diversify your portfolio. And three, gold does really well during times of economic uncertainty. And one other thing I want to talk about during today's live is with everything going on in the economy right now, people are so scared. They're so nervous. Some are really anxious. And you might even be going through analysis paralysis. You don't know what you should be doing right now with your money and how you should handle your investments. And the one thing I will say, and I've made it clear in so many of my videos on Instagram and TikTok, the worst thing you could do right now is let your emotions drive or decide how you invest and handle your finances. You never want to make a decision when it comes to money based on fear, nervousness, or anything like that. So if you're not sure what you should be doing right now, taking a pause and doing nothing is okay for the short term. You don't have to feel the pressure that you have to do something right now, even though you're not really sure. That's the worst place to invest from. You need to invest from a place of being certain, being calm, cool, and collective. You can be uncertain to some degree because no one knows what's going to happen in the future, but you never want to invest from a place of being scared and anxious. So if you're not sure what you should be doing right now, taking a pause until you can make that decision is totally okay. I think some people feel the need to always be busy with their money. Sometimes taking a pause is quite all right until you figure out your next move. I also mentioned in a video that I posted earlier today, maybe investing right now might need to be the thing you don't think about right now, and you focus on something else in your financial house. So maybe now's the time to focus on building up your emergency fund, right? Between inflation, a very uncertain job market, there's a lot going on right now. And maybe the nest egg you have right now needs some little extra cushion, right? So that could be your focus for the next few months until you figure out what to do with your investments. Or maybe you should consider paying down some debt if you so have any, right? So don't think you have to be investing all the time, constantly. While it is good to be investing, whatever you currently have in your portfolio, maybe that's enough for right now, and you focus your efforts somewhere else. That is totally okay. And this is why we call it personal finance, right? Your journey is personal to you as the person, as the investor. And so your journey will look different in different phases and stages. And maybe this is the phase where you take a break. That's okay too. Or this could be the phase where you're investing more because stocks are on sale. They're a little bit cheaper right now. So now you can get some stocks at a good price, right? There's different ways to cut and slice this, but the whole premise of what I'm saying right now is you must feel comfortable with whatever choice you are making right now when it comes to your finances. So please keep that in mind. Do not feel pressured to do things that you're not comfortable with. Don't feel pressured to make moves that you really aren't sure if they're right or not. Now, we're all never sure if the next thing we're doing is right or not, but you have to have confidence in what you're doing. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So really think about that. As we move through the next few months and the next few years, because I think it's going to be quite a bit of a roller coaster until things level out. But again, it's your journey. You move at your pace and do things at your own time. So that's it for today's live, guys. I hope you learned something from this conversation. If you do have any questions about gold or investing in any other assets, feel free to leave a comment on this video. I will come back and either answer the question or maybe we will address it in a future live. So with that being said, have a great day, everyone, and I'll talk to you guys on Friday for our weekly recap.